Free Speech Friday at 8:30 every Friday. Brought to you by the Free Speech Union. FSU.nz, that's where you find them, and they are the champions of free speech in New Zealand, that organisation. If your free speech, if you are being attacked, your free speech is being attacked, they are the people to go to. If you want to help others protect their freedom of speech, you join up with them and you get involved with their campaigns. The Free Speech Union, the champions of free speech in New Zealand. And believe it or not, and I found this hard, I get a note from Ryan the other day. He says, do you know this Friday is the 100th Free Speech Friday? God, it feels like we've only just begun. But there it is. So this is a special 100th birthday anniversary edition of Free Speech Friday. And joining me, two of the most lively contributors over that time, over those 100 episodes, from Auckland, Auckland Councillor, former National Party Cabinet Minister Maurice Williamson. How are you, Maurice?
Good morning, Sean.
And from Wellington, Alistair Boyce, who just doesn't pull a pint for you. He's now involved also in a group called Better Wellington, which I think is trying to have a positive impact, from what I can see, on local body politics in Wellington. Nice to have you both with us, guys, and we got some ground to cover, some absolute ground to cover this morning. Look, I want to start with something that wasn't on the list because it only happened after we drew up that list. Liz Gunn, acquitted of assault in a decision that basically says there's no way her touching a security guard at Auckland Airport on the arm got anywhere near assault. And Maurice, I'm just saying the District Court Judge Janie Forrest, who found her guilty, is either incompetent or corrupt and should go.
Yeah, I think, Sean, I've got a view about the judiciary. Every other area of employment, you've got a performance set of targets, and if you don't meet them, you go. But these people get appointed for life, and they're there no matter how good or bad they are. I would have liked a system where if, let's say 25% of your rulings get overturned by the higher court, you lose your job.
Yeah, but have you seen the footage, Maurice? There's just no way.
Oh, look,
this
it was
wasn't
the biggest
a politically
motivated
thing because they didn't like Liz Gunn and thought she was a
total
nutbar.
beat up. I mean, I'm not a fan of what Liz believes in, but she's got every right to say it. And the fact that they thought that was assault when there are people out there beating the crap out of others and getting away with it because they didn't have a teddy bear when they were young. It was the biggest media beat up I've ever seen.
Yeah. Alistair?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. That absolutely ridiculous. Poor old Liz Gunn. She's got enough problems as it is, and she shouldn't be victimised like this. Just let her live her life, and hopefully she can let us live ours as well.
Yeah. Look, just quickly on that. Also overnight, pictures are being shared on social media, largely for some guy called Mark Spring, who sounds like a bit of a legend in his own lunchtime, of Golriz Garraman from this pack and save footage. And mainstream media organisations like ZB are also sharing that image. We're not going to, and I'm not going to on my social media feeds, because I say there was no crime committed there. She was never charged. And she is now a civilian. She has now left politics in the national stage. And that's just scumbaggy. And she doesn't look great in the picture. I just thought that was really scummy, actually, of these people.
It's shocking. I mean, she's taken the vest with the target on it off because she's left politics.
Yeah.
So there's no target there anymore. She's not in any team fighting for... She's an individual who's got to try and get on with a hell of a difficult life now because she's lost a license to practice and so on. Her life must be terribly difficult. It's got nothing to do with any of us anymore other than anyone that wants to provide us some help and support. And for the media to now be just sharing a random photo that someone has leaked, put on social media, it's got to the bottom of the bloody barrel in this country. It really is.
All right. Boise, do you know who Mark Spring is?
No, I got no idea. It's a grisly fascination with Golriz. I think she's a victim of her beauty, and this fascination that it's an ongoing problem. She's obviously got problems that she needs to deal with, and it's not going to help having her in the public domain whatsoever. And it's certainly not fair or just that she carries on getting vilified via social media or any other mechanism.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. Just leave her alone.
Good on you guys.
Yeah.
Good on you guys. And I don't need the Broadcasting Standards Authority to tell me that that's the right thing to do. Look, let's jump to something that, gosh, I was kind of... It wasn't a kind of structured thing I did. I just arrived at work on Monday and driving down had nothing to do with the fact that he studiously hasn't talked to the platform since prior to the election campaign. And that he's lied to my face about coming on the platform and his staff ghost us. I just looked at Chris Luxon on a couple of issues and I said on Monday, I thought he was a bit useless. We got tens of thousands of views of my editorialising on Mr. Luxon, and it's kind of continued apace this week, guys. And you're a former member, National Party Cabinet Minister. You know the politics of leadership and outside a caucus, indeed a cabinet, Maurice. And I just feel something has changed. People have finally said Luxon may not be our guy.
I think Christopher Luxon has fallen victim to the swarm of advisors that will be sitting around him going, be very careful to answer that. Don't take a stand on that. Try to give a bland sort of blamongy type answer. And I listen to sometimes when he's been asked a direct question, and at the end of a 2-minute word salad,
well, what I'd say to you is,
and to be perfectly honest, at the end of the day, the end of the amortized view of this, and you go, just say, this is crap. And that's what Trump is getting such high rankings in the polls. I saw something the other night in from the Republican Party who were sending me some of the post-election polling. The thing that pushed Trump's rankings higher than any other one issue was when he signed the executive order saying all federal hiring will now be on merit.
Yeah.
And I thought,
even the straws thing, even the plastic straws thing the other day.
Yes.
He just picks issues that people get. And I'll be honest, Alistair, it seems to me that Luxon will not put his stake in the ground on anything.
His advisors will be advising him that if you do, there'll be people that are upset and angry. But I said in 2002, I said that we're losing this election because even Sue Bradford doesn't hate us.
Yeah, Alistair?
Yeah, look, maybe he is just bland and blancmange.
Maybe he's just Christian corporate.
Maybe he just doesn't believe in anything to any real depth or degree. Maybe he doesn't understand democratic values, and he's...
I'm not sure that's true, Alistair.
No personal belief.
Yeah, but why are you not sure that's true, Maurice?
Because the guy's got a good brain. He's clearly been successful in business and so on. I think he's fallen foul of is that, the advisors tell you all the time. I sat in the room just listening to this crap all the time. Oh, no, don't say that. No, that'll get some people upset. So they say, just take a different view of it. Try running the line of, and I said, well, that doesn't even answer the question. Yes, but that'll be fine. It'll all go away after that. What they don't want is for you to say something that then racks up everybody.
I'm actually with Boyce on this, though, Maurice. I don't think, apart from getting the job and putting it on his CV, I don't think he has a vision for how he would like to change New Zealand for the better, and I don't think he cares. Because if he did, he would read the room internationally, he would look at what's happening in America, and he would understand, like almost everyone else, including Boyce, and you understands. Yeah. There is a moment in time here where we can roll back the woke, politically correct stupidity that has infected this nation and the world and slay the dragons of diversity, DEI, treaty principles. The moment is now, and Luxon will not take it because he doesn't think in those terms.
If I was in the room, it's exact advice I'd be saying. The sine wave graph of politics, there are times when everyone's sort of on tenterhooks and very careful and so on. Right now is the time to go out with some big guns blazing on issues for which 90% of New Zealanders would say bang on. And the small cohort that don't like something like all hiring from now on and government will be on merit. How can you be against that? Who doesn't hire on merit?
Well, obviously Dunedin Hospital, if you heard our interview with Yvonne Van Dongen.
Obviously, a whole lot of government departments haven't, and it's time, and the vast bulk of New Zealanders would say, yes, the best person should be given the bloody job, not because you're a one-legged lesbian who's into saving gay whales from the South Island.
Hey, Boyce, I'm wondering, are you seeing small groups of National Party backbenchers in the snug over at the backbencher, muttering under their breath with daggers beneath their togas or not?
Oh, I don't think they're over. They were coming over on Monday. I generally only in there on a Monday. But Judith Collins was in. She had a group with her, and Mike Butterick with a bit of a group. And there's a bit of conjecture and talk. Certainly a lot of them are worried about Wellington every time they come to Wellington.
Yeah.
So I was able to illuminate them on a bit of that.
You've done some... that polling's been interesting on Wellington too, Boise.
They have.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Tory is toast. So let me tell you that very clearly.
Total.
Now, can I just
she won't
get back
stand.
to Luxon?
She won't stand.
Yeah.
She won't stand. I'll tell you that now.
No, I don't think
she'll back out towards. She'll back out towards the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's obviously the path. She's really digging Wellington into a massive hole with the Golden Mile.
Yeah.
But just getting back to politicians, the new wave of politicians is genuineness. You're allowed to speak. You're allowed to go out there and say how it is and what should be done, a la Shane Jones and a la David Seymour. Now, if Luxon genuinely believed in what we're all talking about as the mood for change and what needs being done, he would have signalled it and done it already. If he does it now, he will be disingenuous and seen as that.
Yeah, it's like the boat sailed, to be honest.
The boat has sailed, Sean, absolutely.
So
well, I'm actually with him this morning. He's here at a function here in Pakuranga. I'll tell him you guys think the boat has sailed.
Can I ask him, look, I'm away for 9 days, but tell him if he wants to come on the platform and have a chat when I get back, he can ring me, because I'm sick of telling Ben to contact and talking to the people in his office, and they just
he's
lie
at
to
the
my
Pakuranga
face.
Rugby Club at 10 o'clock this morning.
What was that?
Morrissey needs to front.
Yeah.
I agree on that.
Let's roll with this. If he were to be hit by an eco-friendly, electrically powered bus tomorrow, who would be? And it's got to be a national MP, and there's so many people online don't understand that you can't have Winston Peters lead the National Party and be the Prime Minister. So, and I've tried to make that clear. Who do you pick out of the cabinet? Now, I floated Judith Collins because I think she best embodies the spirit of Trump within that caucus. I've done a poll, purely unscientific, on X, which has Simeon Brown as preferred, Erica Stanford as second, and Judith is third. And who was the other person? Who was the other person that I had in that poll?
Did you have Nicola Willis in the
Nicola
poll?
Willis, and she was fourth. There are others who'd be interested. There's Mark Mitchell. There's all sorts of people. But come on, you guys.
I'm particularly prejudiced because my son works for Simeon Brown. I know Simeon well. He's replaced me as the MP here. I think he's just outstanding. I just think
how can we have a Prime Minister that doesn't shave, though, Morris?
Hey, okay, here's your metrics. Do you care whether the Prime Minister shaves, or do you care whether they take the place and take it forward and get some bloody things happening?
Well, yeah, okay.
I don't give a stuff whether they shave. Even some of the women MPs don't shave.
Some of them do. Well, that's the Green MPs. I'm going to get in trouble for that, I know.
I think you've got to have the woke measure on, Sean.
Yeah.
You've got to do the woke
So,
measure.
Boise, who do you think were, heaven forbid, Chris Luxon to be hit by an eco-friendly bus tomorrow? Who does Boise think would step up and be?
Yeah, I agree. It's Simeon Brown. He's got the intelligence and the fortitude, and he's not woke. And unfortunately,
but I tell you what's so uncommon about Simeon. He actually sits down with a big sheet of paper and says, "What does success look like? What do I want to achieve?" Writes it all down and he lays it out, and then he says, "Now, how do I go about getting there?"
Yeah, but hang on, Luxo does that. Chris from corporate does that with his 40-point plan, doesn't he, Morris?
No. Well, what makes me laugh a little bit about the going for growth stuff now is, do you remember back to the Knowledge Wave conferences that Helen Clark ran?
The MC for the Knowledge Wave conference,
That's
Morris.
right, you were too, as you were. And before that, Max Bradford did the Bright Futures conferences, and every one of them we talked about Ireland, we talked about Finland.
We did too, you're damn right.
And Singapore. That's 35 bloody years ago. And now we're still talking about we've got to model Well, I'm sorry, but it's time to actually do things. Corporate tax, lower the bloody bureaucracy of trying to employ people. Actually things that make the difference, not saying we're going for growth and then not change anything.
All right, guys, look, this is a great session. I'm enjoying this. We've still got a lot of fun to be had. I've got to get to a commercial break, though, or I'll get in trouble with Ben. Oh, yes, and it is our 100th edition of Free Speech Fridays. With us today to talk about the events of the week. People who believe in free speech. Alistair Boyce from the Backbencher Pub and also involved in Better Wellington. And Maurice Williamson, former National Party Cabinet Minister, now Auckland Councillor. Of course, Free Speech Fridays brought to you by the Free Speech Union, fsu.nz. That's where you find them. They are the champions of free speech in New Zealand, and we greatly appreciate their support. Okay, guys, let's kind of move on from the great fun that is saying who would replace corporate Chris Luxon. A couple of other big issues. Firstly,
that was only if he was hit by an eco-friendly bus.
That's right. But of course, we're open for business, says corporate Chris. I didn't know we'd ever been closed, to be honest. But we're open for business unless you want to build a Macca's in Wanaka, right, Alistair?
Yeah, this is a bit weird, isn't it? Like, let them build Macca's and let them have a warehouse and let them have all these massive corporate beasts that run around the country and run around the globe. Just let it go. They're not doing any massive harm. I mean, I don't think the food's that good for you, but it's not my scene or my style.
Yeah,
I'd much prefer a handmade, homemade burger
And the market can decide that, Alistair.
They can. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we to tell other people what they should necessarily eat?
Okay, now this is funny because that's going to be good for a segue in just a moment. Maurice, what do you think? I just think symbolically the NIMBY wokeism of what happened down in Wanaka sends an awful signal to someone who might say, I don't have to speak English now to get a visa to New Zealand. I'll invest millions. Whoa, I can't get a Macca's in Wanaka.
Yeah, look, I despair. I mean, have you seen the designs? It looks such a stunningly well-designed building, designed to blend into the environment.
And look, I've talked to people down there, Maurice. They all have interest in like coffee shops that charge you $10 for a bloody latte, and it is just pure woke snobbery.
Oh, that's outrageous that you think self-interest might come into this.
It's not going to change, but as Alistair said, you said, who are we to tell people what they should eat? Well, the cookers, the anti-vax cookers have got a new hero in New Zealand First, though. He looks a very reluctant hero on this Winston Peters. It's his MP, Tania Unkovic, who is driving it. She's introduced or trying to put in the cake tin, and it's a bit of a non-meaningless political sense. She's putting the cake tin for a private member's bill. A referendum to give local bodies the power to decide on fluoridation of water. And it's brought out all the flat earthers, all the man didn't land on the mooners, all the anti-fluoriders, and they're all the same group. As I said, draw in Venn diagrams, just a circle. Where are you, boys?
Elvis Presley is still alive and working at a burger bar in Taiapi.
Yeah, that's right. I saw him at the Macca's in Wanaka last weekend. Maurice, where are you on this?
Oh, look, I'm very prejudiced on this one. I grew up on a farm and we just had farm water, and my dad went out and sourced some fluoride tablets and made sure we took a fluoride tablet once a week and so on. And I'm in my mid-70s and still got all my teeth in perfect condition. I'm a fan of fluoride. I think it's proven to have worked. I think it's vital to put it into the water supply. Otherwise, people who've got parents that'll go out and find something and buy it will do it, but others will miss. And our kids' teeth will be rotten.
And it's a very cost-efficient. It's a very cost-efficient public health measure.
It's one of these issues where I can't believe there's any debate. Yeah. There can be debate about certain things, but the fluoride's just a lay-down misere for me, and anybody who wants to oppose it, go and live on another planet.
All
right. They already are.
Boise?
I don't really have an opinion. I'll just go with the prevailing science. I'll do a Robert K. Jr. thing and say, well, let science work it out. And if it's still too contentious, then I guess you do a local body vote with the local water. I don't know.
Well, no, we've now decided that
I disagree with that.
Yeah, why's that?
Well, you let a few. I mean, local government can have 5 people who names are not known. People voted for them because there's no one else standing. They can get in there and change it for the entire bulk of everybody. There are some important things that, like trying to reduce smoking is vital. Trying to get down the obesity levels is vital. And people's bloody teeth are an incredible part of their whole health infrastructure. And there is no question, just no question, that fluoride has got phenomenal benefits in protecting teeth and has got none of the downsides. And the lunatics that are out there going on about this and that, it just tell them to shut up and fluoride's in there.
Well, you'd have to have a functional local government to make the decision about fluoride. And Boise and I live in a city that doesn't. Look, with your better Wellington hat on, you guys have done a whole lot of polling and research, right?
Yeah.
What does it kind of overall mood of the city reveal about how Wellingtonians feel about their city?
Wellingtonians want 0 rates increase. They want the fundamentals that a council provides. They do not want things like the Golden Mile that only had a 20% approval.
And they're going to start work on that pretty soon, aren't they? Like this weekend.
Yeah, she's digging a massive hole. Like, you're just going to lose dozens of businesses down Courtney Place over the next 3 years. They're just going to shut down and, people don't go to Courtney Place to sit on a park bench with a bit of green space and fight cyclists for access. They go there for decent restaurants, decent nightlife, action,
They go there. Look, let's be honest, Alistair.
Yeah.
Nothing good happens at Courtney Place after midnight, and they go there to get laid. To get drunk and get laid. That's what people do in Courtney Place. That's why I don't go there anymore.
You'll just get attacked
but
down
you,
there, sure.
But you obviously used to. You obviously used to.
Of course I did. Of course I did. Look, finally,
what makes me laugh, here in Auckland, I'll tell you the numbers. I've just been doing some mode of transport analysis because I'm on the board of Auckland Transport now for my sins. Like 84.6% of all people in Auckland use the motor car or a passenger in a motor car or have a corporate car. Just under 1% use cycles. Now, where's all the money and all the effort and everything going is to the cycleways and nothing to do with fixing some of the infrastructure and roading. The cyclists have created this unbelievable little ecosystem, created the political world that cycling is it, and everyone will move. If you build it, they will come. Well, we've built a gold-plated piece of cycleway out here on the Eastern Busway, and I tell you, come with me, and you're very likely to see nobody within the hour of standing there on the cycle. But the road beside it, Pakuranga Highway, is jammed, packed, blocked, locked, and stopped.
Yeah. Guys, great session, but I still want to cover off one thing because it's been, to me, one of the great examples of the bent nature of my so-called competitors in mainstream, lamestream media. The coverage of what I thought was a really well-motivated publicity stunt by David Seymour to draw interest in a charitable event and drive for heart research, for groundbreaking heart research in New Zealand. But the mainstream media, and in particular Agenda Lynch Mob, have taken the opportunity, and also lefties and trolls on social media, they just don't like David Seymour. So David Seymour does a little stunt on the steps of Parliament, and suddenly, should he be prosecuted? Isn't this the world's greatest friggin' outrage? We haven't really talked about it much on the platform, but we have interviewed the charity and the person doing the good work that David was highlighting. What do we think of this story? And do you really give a toss about it, to be honest, Boise?
Yeah, I do care about it because I think the vilification of David Seymour has reached unprecedented levels. And you might go on about Golras getting treatment online, but David Seymour gets totally unnecessary and over-the-top treatment all over the place.
Yeah.
And he has proven one of our most ablest policymakers and one of our bravest politicians to try and resolve really serious issues in this country. And the treaty debate and the is so important for the future of this country. And I mean, if you're looking at people investing in New Zealand, they do not want to have tribal politics, and they don't want separatist politics.
Right.
If you look at someone like Bill Foley, when he talks to seriously, he comes in and he wants a democratic, liberal democracy with equality and fairness at its very heart and basis. And that is not what's happening. You hit the RMA, you hit all these things around the country, and the latest one is Ngāi Tahu wants to own the water in the South Island. It's a clear ownership grab. So I don't know what Luxon was talking to them about on my Tangi Day, but it seems to have culminated in a grab for the South Island water.
Sean, as a quick end of that, I totally agree with Boise, but let me just say that when I was a kid on the farm and you come running in having cut yourself on barbed wire, my dad had a thing called the test. And he said, let's apply the test. And we go, oh, not the bloody test. And he said, did anybody die? No. Did anyone get any broken limbs, or did anyone have to be hospitalised? No. What of it? You got a little bit of blood on your finger. Go and put a Band-Aid on and stop bloody making it into a big drama. It was actually good intention to raise funds for a very good cause. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt. And yet it becomes bigger than Ben-Hur. It is pathetic what our news media focus on compared to how do we actually get economic growth and not keep talking about it, and how do we get our kids performing in school. Those are the metrics that matter, not whether somebody was out on the bloody forecourt with a Land Rover. For God's sake.
Look, that is a lovely place to end what has been a most enjoyable. You guys are on fire today. A most enjoyable Free Speech Friday. It will be. Duncan's going to fill in. Guys, thank you very much for all your contribution in the last 100 episodes. We'll keep doing it. And we'll talk again soon. Alistair Boyce from the backbench.
I'm off to my Luxon function.
Oh, say hi from me.
I will. I'll say hi from you, Sean.
All right, mate.
I will.
Cheers.
I will indeed.